Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have an interesting game to share with you from round 10 of the FIDE Grand Swiss 2025. This was played September 14th, and it has one of the prettiest finishes you will ever see to a game. The finish to this one is extremely rare. You are unlikely to ever experience this firsthand. On the white end, we have Awonder Liang playing against Nikolas Theodorou. All right, we are looking at the Petrov's defense, and we exchange e-pawns. Nothing special with these early moves, just getting developed. Okay, challenging black center, reinforced, more pressure on the invasive knight. Capture on d5, more pressure on the knight. This position simplifies very fast, I must admit. Primary reason I am sharing this with you is for this game's finish. A few instructive notes throughout. More development. d5 a target, defended. The knight on b6 sits well. Good defender, and it also eyes two interesting jumps. From here, forceful play. Mate threat on h7, there's only one move. Mate threat on h7 yet again, only one move. And after g4, black throws the pawn in a pin. Now, the best play from here is what we see in the game. Capture on h5. And from there, we're going to see a queen exchange. Now, you don't have time as white to try and avoid the queen exchange by playing f3 and then queen h4, getting out of this, and then next looking to crash through. If you play f3 here, you're already lost as white. Note, there is a disconnect here. Black's already ready to go and challenge, contest this only opened file. Black would be winning if you play f3 here. So rook here, bishop d2, that bishop could be questioned. It's important to continue in this way. We see the capture on h5, queen exchange, rook on f to e8, bishop f4, rook's connected. White wants access to this f4 square and gets just that. Bishop exchange, g5, knight h3. And up until this point, we have seen this position before. It's not a new position, but with black's next move, it is. In the game, we have f6. Now, one of the top moves here is knight a4, and then after knight captures g5, knight captures c3. This is how the computer wants to run it. With this move in the game, f6, this new move, the 7th rank is now a bit more vulnerable. We're going to see why it's important, in a way, to keep this pawn on home base. But how black plays it, hangs on to g5, and white insists on gaining access to this f4 square. From here, this is where we now see knight to a4. And we're going to crash through on g5. Computer doesn't like knight to a4 here. It's looking forward to g4, knight f2, with the following idea, king f7, defending g4 indirectly. After king f7, knight captures pawn, there would be rook g8. White experiences a problem on the g file. The problem here for black in trying to defend the pawn with a pawn, as soon as f5 is played, there would be a wonderful pivot for the white rook on e5. So let's see what this looks like. If ever a capture here, this is a very strong pawn. All right, how black plays it after f4, we have knight a4, the exchange on g5, knight captures c. I was thinking a little bit about this earlier decision by black to go with f6. It could be that black was interested in trying to exchange as many pawns as possible. All right, turns out not to be the best approach, and it's pretty clear why that's the case. With this next move by white, h6, do you see what just happened? This king is now sealed onto this back rank. No forward moves. You're stuck. Beautiful coordination with the pawn and knight, controlling the 7th rank squares. From here, black's approach is to start pushing pawns, plays with his 2-to-1 queenside majority. I tested out the following move. The computer says this here is best, but even with this best move, it's still not going to be enough. It points out the top response to knight e4 would be to support your own knight. And in the event of a knight exchange, white works with these connected passed pawns. Now, I do want to take this line out a little bit more. This pawn can be collected, but white would still be winning. The king is kind of far away from defending it. Let's see what this looks like. We could have in this position a rook exchange, and you can quickly contest this file. Black would not be able to exchange rooks. These two pawns will be decisive. White's going to win the king and pawn ending. And if black inserts a check, king g3, and collects this pawn, h7 is winning. There's no way for black to handle a rook getting to the 7th rank. Just too powerful. Defending the pawn, targeting pawns. Forget about king f6 in this position. There would be a rook exchange and the pawn promotes. All right. What we have here, no knight jump to e4 in the game. It is a5, h4. We're going to see that the white king plays a big role in this game, starts to march on up on the king side. The black king is stuck. And the rook has to stay tethered to this back rank. Otherwise, you're asking for h7 and then the rook getting to the back rank and you're pushing through. So completely passive rook. Biggest difference here, king positions. Add the rook positions to the list. These ideas of trying to create a passed pawn turn out to be far too slow. Rook on the 7th now. Knight being challenged. Nice check inserted, pulling the king to g8, and only now going behind this candidate passed pawn. There's now a check available. The pawn's ready to move. Target the king. From here we have a knight exchange. Now, if black tried something else, let's say this pawn runs, it is passed already. Here's how white could continue. We're seeing with this line I'm going to put on now the benefit of including the rook h7 check before going to the b file. White here would have h7 check, followed by knight f7 check, and knight d6 discovered check. The rook falls next. All right, how black plays it. He removes the knight, and now white recaptures with the pawn, straightens them out. Connected pawns here. There's no hope for black. Remains passive with the rook. And this pawn actually helps white in a way. There are no stalemate tricks for black. For instance, once the king is on h6, the king has no legal moves. There aren't going to be any ideas connected with sacrificing the rook or anything. There's still this pawn that can move. All right, from here we have rook to e2. I'll throw this one to you as a pop quiz. How would you continue here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay. Again, a very rare finish to this one. We have rook b8 check, king g7, and h8 equals bishop for checkmate. What a cool finish. You're not likely to see a game finish quite like this again anytime soon. One final note, with this final position, you don't need to see moves highlighted to know exactly what that final move must have been. Little logic tells us it must have been h7 to h8 under promotion to a bishop. Anyhow, your thoughts with this one, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.